So one of the things we need to do when we're setting up our D7200 is to tell it which image quality setting we want to use. In other words, whether we want to capture JPEG files or RAW files. So in this video, we're going to set up the camera to capture JPEG files. The way you do that is you press the menu button on the upper left of the back of the camera and you'll access the camera's menu system. You scroll up and down until you get to the photo shooting menu that you see here, and then over until you're at image quality. So select image quality. You'll notice that there are 3 different JPEG settings that you can use: JPEG Fine, Normal, and Basic. Well, we're going to select JPEG Fine, which is the largest JPEG your camera can capture. And the reason for this is that it's easy to downsize images for different uses, for the web, for your blog, for PowerPoint, for patient management software, but it's harder to go in the opposite direction. So capturing the largest JPEG we can, which is JPEG Fine, gets rid of that problem. So we'll just select that. And then we want to go over to image size. I want to just double check that it's on large, the 6,000 by 4,000 pixels, which creates a 24 megabyte file. If medium or small are selected, scroll up to large and select that. Then we want to go down to image area and make sure that DX is selected. Nikon's version of its cropped censored cameras are called DX censored cameras. And we just want to make sure that we're using the full sensor. That's 24 by 16 is the mode for that. So make sure that DX is selected. And then go down to JPEG compression. We want to make sure that since we're compressing a file, JPEG files are compressed by definition, that we're compressing it for optimal quality in the image file, not optimum size. So we want to make sure that we're choosing optimum quality or optimal quality here, and then we're all set up. You're now set to take large JPEG images in your Nikon D7200. Another way to set the image quality on your camera is to press and hold the qual button on the back of the camera, and that'll bring up a menu that looks like this. And what you can do is use the rear thumb dial at the top right of the camera to scroll through those different modes that we were looking at, the JPEG, Fine, Normal, and Basic. We want to leave it on Fine. And the front thumb dial to go from large, medium, and small. So we want large and fine there, and once that's done, you're all set. Well, if you want the absolute best image quality from your photos, you'll have to set your camera's image quality to RAW. And here's how you do that. Again, you press the menu button on the back upper left of the camera and you'll get the menu system. You scroll up and down until you get to the photo shooting menu and scroll over and down until you see image quality. Now, we had it set at JPEG Fine before when we set our camera to JPEG mode, but now we want to select NEF RAW. NEF, or NEF, is just the Nikon designation for its RAW files. All the files will have an extension of .NEF when you make them. So you select that, and you'll notice that the image size is no longer active. It's grayed out, and that's okay because we only select one size of RAW file. It's a full resolution, real big hummer of a file, and it has tons and tons of great detail in it. So we don't need to worry about the image size in this case. Now, image area should still be set to DX as we did before, and we don't have to worry about JPEG compression, but if you scroll down one more time, you'll get to NEF RAW recording. And if you select that, you'll have 2 options here. And I want you to go to Type, select that, and you have 2 choices, a lossless compressed file or a compressed file. And I want you to select lossless compressed. I've been shooting in lossless compressed mode for my RAW files for years and years and years. It makes a slightly smaller file size, which saves you space on your memory card, which is a good thing. And I have never ever seen or heard of any issues with reduced quality there. So select lossless compressed, and then if you go back into the NEF RAW recording and go down to NEF RAW bit depth, we want to make sure that that's set to 14-bit. It's just a bigger file, slightly bigger file with more information in it. So we want the biggest, most robust file we can have with the most information in it that we can use for whatever purpose we want, whether it's a big photograph to hang on your walls in your office or something that we want to use in a presentation. We want as much information to start with as we can get, and 14-bit will get that for us. So we select that, and then our setup is done. So just like with the JPEG setting, if I want to press the qual button on the back of the camera, press and hold it, another menu comes up, and you'll notice that the image size front dial is now deactivated because we don't have to worry about an image size for our RAW files. They're all one size. But I can use the rear command dial to change the image quality back to JPEG fine, normal, or basic, or RAW plus fine, RAW plus normal, RAW plus basic, so that's shooting RAW and a JPEG file, or just RAW, which is what we want. So once I release that, we have reset and cycled through all the choices and reset it back to RAW, and you can see that right here in the info display window.